Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Melina Landrio. I want to thank you all for sharing space with me today. I'm doing a mediumship read today. I'm just checking my cards right now. I just got guided to a deck right before commencing to meet with you guys. So I just want to ensure that all these cards are in the upright because I haven't used this deck in a little while. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope everybody is enjoying the beautiful warm weather. I'm hoping you're having warm weather. I know we are here in Ottawa. Very happy to see this. You could see my Irish-Scottish genes are showing here with the nice sunburned skin. Definitely a hot day for us, which I am gratefully accepting. It's nice to have the warm weather show up. The birds singing in magnitude. Lots of birds. We saw a raccoon today, and a mama raccoon grabbing her baby by the neck and crossing someone's yard to across the street to another yard to bring their baby to safety. So that could be relevant here. A mama raccoon helping her babies in broad daylight, which I think is unusual for raccoons. I believe that's not a good sign. If aren't they nocturnal? So maybe out of their element, guiding their babies to safety, perhaps. That could be relevant for today's message. I also saw a heron today, a beautiful blue heron, I think it was called. We had a photographer cross paths with us today, and he pointed it out to us. We were looking at the same scene that he was going to take his photos, and he ended up speaking to us about the blue heron that was there. So we thought that was kind of cool because moments before we were talking about the birds that we see there sometimes, which are herons, but we thought maybe it could be a crane, which we understand is the same species of bird, but a different bird altogether. So the more you know. Anywho, this message is a bit serious. I feel it's serious. It felt serious the other day when I had a visitation, and definitely kept the vibe of seriousness as the mediumship progressed. Just shuffling these and preparing because I think we might be going into a deeper reading after I tell you the information that I received. I was guided to roll some dice, which I did, and it's clarified a further reading. So I'll read the dice a little bit later after I give some of the information out. That's good there. Anyway, let's get started. Today is the 27th, and on the 25th of May, 2025, I received, I had an awareness that there was somebody on my stairs. And, you know, when I get awarenesses, especially on my staircase at night, I usually just think it's one of my kids coming down, needing one of us to help them back to bed. And hello, hello, and nobody answered me. And then I scanned the area, did my thing. And I perceived a young boy, I feel like he's age 9. And he was in the spirit. He was a spirit boy. And he was lurking on my staircase in the background. And I sat there and I thought, are you wanting me to gain information? Like, he's here for a reason, right? But he was lurking, right? So sometimes I just pay attention to how they're lurking and what they're doing. And then I started to see him. He started to show himself to me, and to the point where I understood that I had to sketch him. So I did. I sketched him to the best of my ability. Just a quick sketch. When I do the sketches here, they're quick sketches to get the point across of what I'm seeing. I'm sure I'll be guided to do more in-depth sketches in the future. As I am sharing this information with you, I am receiving heaviness on the right side of my crown. So I'm just going to revoke and rebuke that in the name of God. But that could be significant to this channel, to this mediumship experience. I'm just also going to clear the energy right now. I'm going to invite in Archangel Michael to help secure and hold the space for us today. Thank you, Archangel Michael. I also have the ancestors here guiding the energy as well. This message is something that needs to come through. It's a guided soul to me. So I'll show you who I sketched. This is the boy I was seeing. And his name is Vincenzo, I believe. I did hear another name as I was scanning the energy before I started to see him. But there was so much energy information coming through that I didn't write it down fast enough. And I caught the name Vincenzo first. So by the time I went to scan back the energy, that name poofed out of my head and I haven't had it return. But, you know, I am hopeful that if that name was significant, it will come in through this reading today. Because that does randomly happen at times when I do these types of, when I have these types of visitations to commence into readings. So yeah, so this is the boy I was seeing. I'll show him again throughout. And so he was lurking on the staircase, and I got a sense, as you saw, that his right ear was pierced. And I also felt when I saw it that it was a piercing that could have been forced in some way onto him. Like almost to portray some sort of, like an illusion or a projection is how it felt. Like he was portraying something with that piercing. I don't feel like his parents did that to him. Gave him that or pierced his ear. And if it is a parent that's involved, an actual blood relative that is involved in the situation at hand, I don't think it is. But that if it is a parent that is involved, it makes it almost even sicker of a story. If it could even get any sicker, just at the hands of your own parents. So it doesn't feel like that, though. To me, the energy felt like it was something else. And I'm going to get into that. So I asked who Vincenzo was. I asked who he was. And I received, because I was trying to think, is this the child's name or is this who murdered him or killed him or something to do with his death? Because he's here trying to tell me his story for a reason. And I understood that he was paid employment. And he was to increase some form of flow in material gains. And this was approached, there's a monitoring spirit here, little nit or whatever they're called flying around. So monitoring spirits could be significant. So people might be waiting to see if this information is going to get out. That's what I just got from that monitoring bug. Sorry, I'm a little bit, I'm finding the energy as I'm trying to relay this message today is getting very distracted, and I'm finding myself distracted quite a bit. So bear with me and my distractions. I feel more so than my usual level of distraction. And this is just the energy that I'm trying to navigate as I'm expressing what I already navigated a couple of days ago and also yesterday and also today. So bear with me, please. I might repeat myself too. So I understood he was some sort of paid employment, and he was there to gain some sort of material gains for somebody. And this was influenced by some sort of emotional turbulence. So I feel like he was perhaps like, maybe he had a fight with his family. I feel like he had a fight with his family. I feel like he was a youth that was in distress. I feel like he could have ran away. Something could have happened. This is what I'm kind of understanding by him being here in the way that he illuminated to me. Like there's almost this, like I'm hearing, I should have listened. There's this like, you have to bear with me, because when I feel this type of message come through, it will affect me on all layers and levels. I could get emotional while I'm trying to relay an emotion that is coming through with spirit. Bear with me if I'm channeling and you perceive that or experience that from me in mediumship, because that does happen. I am feeling a lot of grief in my heart. I am feeling really sad. I'm feeling a lot of stuck emotions in the chest. Like I want to, it's like, you know, your child, if you're a parent and you've done like something wrong, but it's like a child's level of wrong. Like I took the last popsicle or something silly, right? It's like a silly, it's like something that to the child would feel like it's the end of the world, but to an adult, they realize it's really not the end of the world. But to this little boy, something occurred, and it led to something that was the end of his world. He might have a little sister. I'm seeing a little girl, spirit showing me at a certain age, so she could have been like maybe really like a chubby little chunker when she was little, little pigtails. Sandy brown blonde hair, maybe blue eyes. There could be a lot of relevance to why they're showing me something that I'm perceiving as me as a kid. And I feel like this is maybe a 2 or 3 year old. Could be a 4-year-old. So, you know, when I'm seeing that, and this is an older child, it's making me think that, you know, maybe there wasn't a lot of you know, he was the firstborn, perhaps. I feel like he was the firstborn. This is his little sibling. And maybe she came unannounced, like there was maybe a surprise baby. And he wasn't expecting that as a single child. And maybe there's a little bit of, I don't want to say hate. That's really not the word to use, but I can't think of the word. Otherwise, it's like maybe a bit of jealousy towards his little sibling getting more some of his attention now, right? Because we all like to think that we all get the same attention from our parents, no matter what child we are, what order we are, firstborn, middle, or youngest, or whatever it is. But the reality is nobody gets the same attention from their parent, because the firstborn gets all of the attention, the secondborn gets some and has to share with the firstborn, right? Everybody has to share the energy, right, of who is available to them. So it's never the same. It's never the same. It's never the same experience. Although you wish it was, it can't be. It's impossible. So yeah, so I'm feeling this heavy grief. He's got a lot of heavy grief, and there's something to do with a little sister and the way he acted towards, like, with the way he left things before I ran away. I feel like he ran away. I also had a dream. I'm reminded of this because I wasn't going to put this in. But it was like a location. It reminded me of a beach. You know, when you go to the beach and there's these areas where you can go and sit and have lunch, like maybe a boardwalk or some sort of wooden panel to walk, and then beyond it, it could have like a little bistro or restaurant or something along the water view. I feel like maybe this is where he could have ran to, or maybe he was at the beach that day with his family and that's where he went missing. Maybe he ran off to make his parents think about missing him, because maybe he felt like they didn't care that he was there anymore. Because in my dream, I remember seeing, it's like I arrived and there was somebody there with pictures, and they had 2 drinks standing at what appeared to be like a bar area, like where you would pick up your drink and stand. And then there was this like it was like I was meeting with this person. I don't know if this is really relevant to this, but I'm being showed this and I'm not really sure how, but and I went to go, I knew this person, but not somebody I want to hang out with. Like, it's almost like there is a connection between me and this person that I was meeting who had the pictures, but it was not a connection that I want to have. It's a connection that is unfortunately, and fortunately in some aspects, is a link to. Therefore, like, it's like you're stuck with somebody, you know, like in a way, like, even though what you're stuck with is not necessarily the problem or the issue. So maybe there could be some sort of discord in the family setting in regards to maybe the parents. Like maybe the parents split, maybe there was some sort of fighting. Maybe this is a dynamic of a split dynamic. Because there is a sense of this link, this connection, and this boy being the link, perhaps. And in all of this, he was approached and he was influenced in this emotional turbulence, in this failure to understand, in this instance of checking out emotionally, to a point where it's like, I'm going to now cut you off from my experience for you because you hurt me. This severance of energy causing inaction to move forward. And, you know, from a child's perspective, it's just love me, show up for me, right? But sadly, this all ended in disaster. And what it was seen as by his perpetrators, the people that, or person that, I feel like it's people, it's like a group. It was like a failed investment. They didn't look at him even as a human being. It was they invested in hiring, paying this employment, and they looked at it as a vacancy now in unemployment. And this is what I'm understanding occurred to Vincenzo, this little boy that I saw, that I'm still experiencing right now. He's here on my right. The right side is significant. When I clarified in my cards about the paid employment, the King of Pentacles came out, which is a fire sign energy. So it could be a Sagittarius. And it also came out with the Sagittarius. So the Sagittarius is somebody born between November 22nd to December 21st. And so fire energy. The 9th house. Oh, I didn't see that. Let me check that up. So associated with the 9th house is philosophy. So this could be somebody who's, again, Sagittarius, with the 9th house. This is being the 9th house. I'll just place this here and you can read it. It could have associations with any of the below. What's sticking out to me is philosophy, ethics, education, knowledge, and religion, beliefs, and vision. Vision as well is sticking out. So they could have a vision. And the 10th house is about making a career. Their social image, public standing, being recognized, having power and authority. This could be a professor. This could be a leader of some capacity, somebody with a reputation that's honorable, or that's considered honorable and publicly honorable. This could also be someone who is a good parent, comes across as a good parent. And they're all about like their social image. This could also be a Capricorn energy as well, could be significant here. The Saturn energy also came out with the King of Pentacles, being the King of Pentacles. And what came out is like a lot of restrictions and limitations, restrictions and control in particular. So something to restrict and to control and cause burden with the 10 of Wands as well. That clarified the 3. So it's like restrict a scenario. So he's paid to restrict some sort of scenario. Like somebody was approaching him. Like he was paid to start doing that position as well. So restriction and control. So I confirmed. I went into the boy the other day with my cards. I went into the boy a little bit more just to ensure what I was getting was accurate. Sometimes I do that. And I got confirmation for the with the 5 of Cups of the emphasis of loss and the grief that I was just feeling now. And definitely with the pessimism in their current situation. So, you know, that could be being a big brother and maybe the split dynamic. There could be some sort of a dynamic where there is a link that is occurring because of him, perhaps, or because of the sister, the younger sister. I also got, the 5 of Cups confirmed the emphasis of his loss and the grief and how he was feeling. But the Lovers also came out. And that clarified not only the paid employment, it also showed, like when I was looking at it, it also showed me that somebody was paid to approach him and come to him with self-understanding. So somebody like who identifies in the sense of the turmoil or the emotional experience that's emphasized by this little boy, they're coming to him and understanding that because they've been through that, or hey, you look like you're sad, you look like you're fighting with your parents, or hey, you're something, something to kind of connect the two. And there's choices here that are being made in regards to this lovers. He's having the choice to speak to them. They made the choice to speak to him, right? And this is about being loved, not necessarily romantic. This is about being compassionate to another. And this is about being able to adapt also and connect with another. So whomever this person is who shared their cup of love with this boy is somebody who is able to adapt to a circumstance of strife and be able to connect themselves to cause this form of restriction and control tactic that they're being paid for. The Knight of Pentacles came out right after there, and that clarified that capacity to manifest and gain collection, the boy being the collection, Vincenzo being the collection. And in collection, this is the position of what they're being hired for, to collect lost souls, kids and youth in distress, is what it feels like, sounds like, and what I'm seeing. When I was going through the cards to clarify the boy, I did notice the King of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, and it was followed by the Four of Pentacles, the Emperor, and then the Ten of Swords. So this is somebody who's trying to gain money, get rich off of some reasoning in hiring these children. Also, some sort of stance for the Four of Pentacles, like holding on to something with like a death grip. Trying to become the emperor of a dynamic and causing a Ten of Swords. So when I asked what happened to the boy, what came out was the King of Wands. And what I understood by this was this is the actual positioning that he was placed in for command. So he utilized like his sharp tongue. A King of Wands could utilize their tongue in ways of sharpness. And when I asked him, what he said to me was, this is how he got the kids to listen and keep them in line. And by doing this, it kept not only himself safe, but he also got the kids to recognize the seriousness of the boss. In this, and in this, his strategy was short-sighted, as he did not see what was to come. So when he told me this, I also simultaneously saw like a vision of what I perceived this dynamic to be from the energy of what he was sharing with me. And what it looked like was perhaps he experienced, aside from his boss or from the people who he associated with in regards to this position, and he experienced something that scared him, maybe, that made him realize that he has to, like, maybe they got him to a place where, your family doesn't want you, and if you want to make money and make it here, you have to do this. And maybe they scared him or they manipulated him in a way to create him to become opposing in his nature, and in this, maybe yelling at people or getting demanding or commanding with them in a way that's not very nice, was a way to make it look like he had control of the dynamic, because he wasn't like fraternizing with his colleagues or subordinates. I just heard, like, so people beneath him in rank in regards to whatever he was doing. So in a way, he came across as a jerk, but he did this because he didn't want them to experience something that he had experienced or seen or witnessed that was scary. And I wasn't getting much at this point in regards to that in this part of the channel a couple days ago. So when I went into that a little bit further, I got the Three of Cups sideways. This is clarifying that everything there was very superficial. There was a lot of jealousy. There could have been even peer pressure, like he was trying to have tactics to get people to stay in line. Perhaps he saw something that pressured him into staying in his line, right? Maybe this is like a domino effect of people being in this way to each other. And this is like a group. This is a group that's acting like family. That's why there was conflicting energy and understanding family, because the Three of Cups could indicate family. What I also understand is there was a lot of excessive indulgences going on as well within this group of superficial people with this facade of everything is great, everything is perfect, we are exactly where you want to be. Because all of this resulted from what I perceived as the Ten of Cups reverse, which is disharmony in this group. And this is because of a facade that they're a picture. They want people to look at them in a certain dynamic, a certain way. And there was negative comparisons and negative or just unobtainable expectations. And this led to a lot of jealousy and disconnection. And because of this, Vincenzo said that he was often isolated. But he also said there was a lot of excessive indulgences. Like when I saw the card expresses that, and when I asked him about that, I felt like I'm seeing like drugs. I'm seeing things that necessarily aren't for really anybody, something that takes you off of or out of who you innately are. Mind, body, spirit. And there's a lot of excessive indulgence of substances, perhaps. Which, yeah, he's showing me like lying down sick in the bed the next day from these excessive experiences. Not being able to get up, throbbing head, like I had a pain at the beginning, and it was almost like a migraine at the back of my head. I am hearing multiple songs that I've been hearing this past week. I did mention them in previous readings. Like I'm hearing another one, Bites the Dust. And then like when I was asking about what they were indulging in, that's the song I heard, but I heard dust and then I saw white powder. So it could be meth or cocaine or some other type of substance that's powdered. There's also the Six of Wands reversed that came out. Like the Ten of Cups reversed came out. The Six of Wands came out reversed. And also the High Priestess came out reversed. And this is like just everything is just rampant self-esteem issues. It's all kids that are dealing with struggles. And there's a lack of supportive, loving connections in this environment. And everybody is just being ripped apart from connection and told that if you want to belong, you have to do what we say, X, Y, Z. And yeah, it's just a lot of self-esteem issues and struggling. So some sort of scale in regards to appearance, perhaps. Appearance and your ability to connect, perhaps, is very significant. The Priestess in the reverse is essentially like a reflection. It's like she's seeing whomever this is, they're seeing that this reflection of the whole, like the whole of it, is causing extreme emotions. It's like illuminating a focal point. And the focal point is of this 10th house, like this career, this 10th house, this upright, in alignment, rightly connected to source energy, or, you know, whatever their perception is incorrect, because the reality is blatantly clear. It's showcasing like opposing truths It's disconnection with the self. And there's a lot of confusion and inner chaos going on amongst the environment because this person is not able to. It's like this noise is screaming of self-betrayal. It's like this person went against who they were innately to paint this facade, to create some sort of group, perhaps. Perhaps that's who this is. Anyways, the outcome is this visitation that I received with the chariot. Vincenzo was guided by compass of his soul and with his determination in focus because he wants to obtain justice. And that's where I come in as a medium who is a conduit for spirit. I come in for them to express their stories and such. I try to hold space in the best way that I can to release the information that I receive. And this is how I've learned to do this. Now, on the 26th of May, I started to channel. And what I got was that there was estrangement from family, which was significant, which I believe I did narrate in the beginning moments of this channel. So there's estrangement from family could be significant. Also, late afternoon, 3 p.m. on this date, there was this extreme feeling of anxiety that I felt. It was like something was off or something bad might be coming. So this could be significant for somebody watching this video who might understand what I'm speaking of. Maybe you know who Vincenzo is. Maybe you're his parent. It's like a late afternoon, this anxiety, a feeling of something is off or something bad might be coming. Or maybe this is around the time that he realized something bad might be coming. It was extreme anxiety. It was in my stomach. And that's how I feel anxiety often. Could be other ways, but that's sometimes the way that it is. And shortly after I had that experience, I felt extremely lethargic. I was exhausted. And it was 11, like I went from 3 o'clock p.m., 4-ish, from anxiety to extreme exhaustion. And at 11:55 p.m., the exhaustion was very scary to me. And it made me think that my body was shutting down. And I just did a video talking about ODing. So this could be relevant. But this is what I was experiencing. And I knew that it was like, you know, when you have extreme experiences like this as somebody who connects with spirit the way I can, it can be daunting because you do have to consider it could be your health, right? But I was exhausted all day. I decided to go to bed earlier than usual. I'm often a late hawk, but, or a night owl. I don't know which one will be better. Anywho, doesn't matter. Anyways, this little boy was hired as a decoy to lure kids. This is what I was told. He lured kids and youth into a scenario that brings in business to gain in some way. And in the same breath, this boy was lured in the same construct. However, he was placed in a position of hire, and he is deceased now because he was taken advantage of. And I also heard as well, so there could be multiple people in this scenario that have passed because of the same circumstances that he went through. Then I started thinking about the exhaustion that I was experiencing. And then I thought maybe this experience of exhaustion is what happens. And it was almost as if what I was showed, like, because I was deciphering why I was so tired because it didn't make sense. Pardon me. It was almost as if I was getting euthanized. I am somebody who saw their dogs be put down when I was a kid. I've seen animals get euthanized as the same age as this boy. And what I was being reminded of was when I watched my dogs be put to rest. And what I remember, the way they just fall into like a slumber, it reminds me of this experience of exhaustion that I was having. Like the pet shortly after passes away, right? But their organs and everything starts to shut down. And I feel this is really relevant here in regards to what happened to this boy, Vincenzo. I feel like these kids are being euthanized or something equivalent. And I feel they're exclaiming that they are not feeling well. They feel like no one is listening to them or nobody cares. That they're surrounded by people who don't care. Although that's not true. Because the younger people that this, like, I'm going to call it a corrupt organization for lack of a better understanding of what exactly it is. But this corrupt group have manipulated and they have coaxed they did this to get them to stay and believe that they care about each other. That's the sense that I'm getting with this. It was interesting, this experience, because I was understanding in their witnessing and deciphering and then finding excuses for why they don't. But the kids are deciphering. Like they're deciphering, they don't do this or they don't do that. Like the perception arrives that they don't care, which what it's making me realize, like it's like these kids, they're being told like what it is, and then all of a sudden they're being hit with the truth of what's happening because they're old enough to understand how their parents may have treated them versus these people. And they're seeing now that these people really don't care, but their parents maybe did care. Because what these people are doing is they're trying to fill needs, like fill these kids' needs. They're trying to like be that helper for the kids, but their needs aren't being met. There's something like that going on. And at that moment, my recording was 6/11/77. So that's the information that I received in regards to this channel. Now, when I was done this, I was guided to roll my dice, and in the dice, I got 2 deaths. So we got 2 skulls, and somebody's tied up, or something's tied up. Or they're linked together. Because these were kind of separated, and the way it landed was the thread was kind of like this. So they're linked together. So maybe this is somebody that Vincenzo is concerned about. And this could be pertaining to possession, like somebody's in possession, because this is second house that came up as well. And this could be related to an Aquarius, somebody born January 20th to February 18th. Some sort of possession could be going on here in regards to an Aquarius. And the Venus energy could be some sort of love relationship, beauty, harmony, sensuality. I feel like this is some sort of love relationship. This could this is somebody who's a beautiful, beautiful person. Beautiful. If this is a kid, this is a beautiful kid. But they might be going through something. Or this is somebody related to his death. I'm not sure. But that's what's coming out. Aquarius energy, Venus energy, 2 deaths, a lasso, and the second house, which is possession. Some sort of possession. So I'm just going to pull some cards really quick just to see what's going on here in this energy. Oh, and the cards are jumping out again. These cards are jumping. So they're ready to talk. Give me a second here, guys. So yeah, this is what I'm getting. And the energy is really compressed in my head right now. What is going on with this? 2 deaths and a lasso. This Aquarius energy, this Venus energy that has come up in the dice that Vincenzo wants me to further explore. Something to do with possession. Please tell me, Spirit, what's going on here. It was like two big lumps of the deck jumped out. Clumps, they just immediately jumped out. Like maybe people are jumping, running, hiding. So we have a 3 of coins. So some sort of agreement, some sort of work. This one flipped in the deck. 2 cards actually. Magician and the Star. And the Aquarius, oops, sorry. I'm like, over here, do you see it? So we have the Magician and the Star that came out as well. So the Magician is influencing some sort of dynamic, paid dynamics to a star. So Aquarius, again, is popped out, the star energy. So somebody who's doing something for humanity, somebody's doing something for humanity, something that's benefiting the world is relevant when the star card pops out. Tell me about this possession, please. The Hangman that flew out. And there's too many cards. I am going to keep the Hangman. It fell out separate to the other clump of cards. And I felt guided to keep that one. Where else? This possession. The energy is getting very hot. So the payment, the people working together is right above the Hangman energy. Oh, come on. These out. Queen of Swords in reverse underneath the Magician. The Hangman, sorry, I'm just thinking about how the Hangman flew out. It was like it flew out and then there was a bunch of cards that flew out next to it, almost on top of it, and clearly separated. I'm being showed there's some sort of significance to that. I'm going to look at my book there to just see what pops out with these cards, because I know they have different explanations than the regular decks, and I just want to ensure I get that one right. That one's, I know it could be sacrificial energy. It could be something that's, in most decks, it could be something that's like it's in the air, like it's expanded for everyone to see. But I feel like there's something more to that one, and I want to see if there's more significance in the explanations of it. You know, it's like they don't want this to get out. This deck is taking forever. At first it was like they were jumping out. What's going on with this Aquarius? What's going on with the star? Ah, there we go. So a Two of Cups just flew out. Flew out and across. Knave of Swords. Current energy. So this could be somebody young coming in. What's in the environment, please? Queen of Wands. Ooh. Where did that one go? Oh, Ace of Swords came out in the emotions. I'm going to get it in a second because I have to move my computer to reach it. What's the outcome? Oops. Whew, a big pile of cards just flew out. I just want to... Too many. I'm hearing they want me to shuffle it one more time. Okay. Okay, what's the outcome? Justice and the Two of Swords just flew out. So let me just move that here. And I'm just gonna get that card 1 second. Hi guys, sorry about that. It is hot in here. I think I'm gonna put my hair up before I move forward. The energy just got super hot pulling those cards. So we had the Three of Coins, the Magician, and the Star. I hope you guys can see these okay. So we have the Three of Wands, the Magician, and the Star. Okay. So the Three of Wands is about some sort of mastery and skill. That's this one here. This is somebody who's like got a good reputation in work. This is somebody who's made a stand for themselves. I think much like the previous cards that I was reading with Vincenzo, this feels like it's relevant in regards to what I had just spoken about him. So we have, this could be a high status individual. This could be a high status business, regarding this Three of Coins. Now we have the Magician, which is influencing it. And the Magician is coming up as like a trickster energy. This could be some sort of imposed power over another, trying to juggle a circumstance. It's like, I get the sense that it's like luring somebody in for some sort of purpose, but they're luring them in with their mastery and their skill in regards to whatever this business is, this high status business. Now remember, we are looking into an Aquarius energy, is what came out. Potentially something to do with two deaths, one of them being perhaps Vincenzo. This is sounding like this could be the business, a bit more of the business in regards to the cards that I'm seeing come out. I mean, with the Three of Coins and then the Magician, there's some sort of business that is high status business. So this business is coming with some sort of experience that has been labeled as high status. And this is also to do with the star energy, which is the Aquarius, again, the Aquarius coming up. So an Aquarius could be really relevant in regards to this possession. This is about a possession. This is about possessing, having possession over another with the second house. There could be some form of blackmail coming out from what I'm like reading, like in the energy in regards to this possession. Like some sort of manipulative, gaslighting energy, some sort of trickster energy, also with the Magician, luring people in, luring somebody in. Perhaps the star energy, maybe Vincenzo was also like a star. In this deck, the star is about somebody who inspires hope, somebody who has a bright future. They hold the light of the divine in them. So somebody who really stands out as gifted, as giving something back to the world, is what the star is. It's about faith, and this is also a symbol of immortality, like that we can move through things. Like this person's here to inspire hope in others. So through hardships that they may have been through, they're here to express how they've made it to the other side of whatever that experience of grief or despair or whatever it is for that person, right? So these are the three cards that came out right off the bat to describe the possession energy. So we have a star who could potentially be possessed by this business, some sort of high status business, something to do with trickster energy and juggling energy, and also power. So maybe they're juggling their appearance. Maybe they're juggling their staff. I don't know. Maybe they're having trouble juggling their stuff because they're killing them off. I don't know. Some sort of weirdness here with that. Okay, underneath the Three of Coins was the Hangman. And the Hangman in this deck, I'm just going to double check this here before I say that. 1 second here. It's usually about sacrifice or delay or some sort of hold going on. Let me just see here. Where are you? Did I pass you? Yes. Oh yeah, right at the top. Yeah. So there's some sort of sacrifice, some sort of delay, but also what I'm getting from this is also the part of the message. Let me just see if I can repeat that. The previous part of the message is being illuminated to look back on. He was paid employment to create some sort of increase in flow, material things, influenced by some sort of emotional turbulence, which led to failure or stemmed from failure. This is this is the part here. This was seen by the perpetrator because this led into disaster, which was Vincenzo losing his life. But for the perpetrator, the person that is this magician energy that's establishing this Three of Coins accomplishment, somebody who's a master at accomplishing some sort of business status, some sort of high status, high level status business. They're really a trickster energy in that, and this trickster energy that is luring in people who are high vibrational or have some sort of spark that could help their business move forward in more mastery. What I'm getting is that this perpetrator, I'm going to call them the perpetrator, was looking at the star as and this hangman energy as a failed investment. But because there's a vacancy now in their employment. It's like not so much about the life that's gone. It's now I have to fill this. What an annoyance kind of experience is what I'm getting from this, because there's some sort of reversal energy coming in here. Like, it's like we got to erase it and then replace it is how it feels. It's like this decision that they make to it's like they're looking at it like a temporary setback. It's like this decision that they're making to hold the same homeostasis as they had before, pretend like nothing happened. And there's really the sacrifice that happened. Somebody was sacrificed. There's a delay in their business because of a sacrifice. Because somebody is not there. Underneath the mastery, accomplishment, good reputation in work, business, high status. I'm going to clarify that. Clarify this mastery, skill, business, high status. Spirit, please clarify this in regards to the hangman, please. Okay, so there's 2 cards here, 3 cards here that want to flip. Another 3 of Pentacles. We have a Hierophant and an Emperor. An Emperor came out in the last part of the read, the beginning part of the read, as before the 10 of Swords. So it's like coming across as some sort of teacher, religious member status, like churchy kind of vibes. Somebody here with wisdom, with information. But there's something about this 3 of Pentacles, this work together. Let's see in this deck, and then the Emperor. Let me just double check this. The Hierophant sits alone, writing and recognizing customs and traditions. Okay? In the upright, the Hierophant stands for learning from the past, spiritual guidance, traditions. For the good and the ill. And the 3 of Pentacles is profession, trade, mastery, skill, same. Celebrity, glory, acquired nobility, glory, celebrity, glory. So maybe they have celebrity statuses coming in there, which is making them high preferred profile. And then we have the Emperor, which is like they represent like stability, reason, authority, and will in the upright. So this is the authority. So this is where they're taking their stance. They're still looking at it as a reputation. But the word that really stuck out that was weird in regards to the 3 of Pentacles, which kind of gave me a weird vibe. Where is it? Glory. I'm not even going to say what I heard. Could this be like a brothel or something? I heard glory hole. We have a Queen of Swords in the reverse. And this is falling underneath the Magician. And this is somebody who has got nasty energy. This is also could be related to that High Priestess in reverse from the previous. The High Priestess was in their emotions because people were starting to see them for who they really were. This is somebody who's lacking self-confidence. They're lacking self-esteem. They slander people. They have attitude. Like there was some sort of discord going on with jealousy and peer pressure in regards to this environment. Partaking in excessive indulgences. This makes more sense now if this is like a brothel. And this Queen of Swords is... It's like she's got this tough exterior, but inside she really cares too much about how people think of her. She could be what Vincenzo was speaking of with this tongue, this sharp tongue. She could also be somebody that spits out sharpness because of her positioning in comparison to him. Maybe she was above him in her positioning. She's coming underneath the Magician, so she could have something to do with this Hangman scenario as well. We also have the Two of Cups, which is underneath the Aquarius. The Two of Cups is a harmonized union, some sort of relationship that's of equal give and take. This could be a partnership as well. So there could be an Aquarius there who's this Queen of Swords could be maybe like coming up against. Maybe she's slandering this star. Maybe she's slandering them for their bright promise, their faith, for the virtue of what they stand for. Maybe they have a better moral, more integrity, a better moral compass than this Queen of Swords in the reverse. Is what I'm getting from this. But I also have this Nav of Wands coming through, and this is somebody who's spying. They're observing. Somebody who's intelligent. And they could also be related to this Hangman as well. This could also be for somebody here in regards to this Hangman, even with Vincenzo. This could be like, this could be threatening a child, a youth, a young teenager, young adults, young person. This could be threatening them with some sort of like reversing, like the reversals in regards to the Hangman. This could also be, this is what I'm getting now with this Nav coming up. This could also be like, let's say this is a brothel. Let's say this is a brothel, and let's say they have underage people working for them, doing favors for high-ranking people in society. This is how it's feeling. What I'm hearing, too, is how it's feeling. So this is a high-status business that's offering services, like illegal services, and they have youth working for them, perhaps such as Vincenzo. He's got a right earring in his right ear. So this could be the significance, and I'm just getting this because the Hierophant came out. The Hierophant came out. Could be a priest. Could be some sort of religious figure. The right ear, I remember, I don't know why, but when I was a kid, I remember boys getting their ears pierced in the right, don't come after me for this. This is just what I remember boys talking about when I was a kid. And I feel like there's significance in regards to this. But if you got your right ear pierced, it was like you needed to get your left ear pierced to be straight, or the right ear tells people that you're gay or something like that. And so maybe this boy was forced to get his ear pierced in the right ear, because I don't think he had his ears pierced. I think he was told or forced to get his ear pierced because it would look better and it would make him more money. This is screaming like Diddy crap. This is screaming that type of energy. Now that I'm seeing this part of the story. Ugh. I want to vomit. This is so disgusting. Poor Vincenzo. And he's really worried about this Aquarius. So he worked with this person. He is really worried about this person. We have a Nav of Swords. A spy, somebody with intelligence. They're vigilant. They're looking towards somebody, something, trying to hide this, trying to figure out who knows what. They're unknown, they're unseen, and they're handling this controversy. So they're the ones dealing with the whole thing. So they've been hired to deal with the mess. I heard they buried me. So a Nav being a youth, being a young person. This place is hiring young people, lost souls, people who are going through it, people who have maybe mental health issues, people who are needing some sort of support, and they're being like poached. They're being poached for positions in some sort of brothel, it feels like. And they're doing dirty deeds, and they're being blackmailed to do these deeds, to follow through with these deeds. They're being blackmailed. We have a Queen of Wands. She's coming up in the environment. Queen of Wands is usually somebody that's very magnetic. And this is the Lady of the Manor. Fuck. In this card, this is described as the Lady of the Manor. Isn't that what they call someone who is like the lead of a brothel? Isn't that what they call? Or the Lady of the Manor? I swear I've seen that somewhere relating to that type of title. Fuck. That's why they wanted me to use this deck. Let me double check that. The Lady of the Manor. Wands. Yeah. Charming. She loves money, but she knows about the economy. She knows where to get money and how to get it and how to maneuver it. She's the head of the house. And she's coming in right after the Nav, so she can have something to do because she's in the environment. She could be dictating somehow what to do here in regards to this hiding of this, suppressing of this information. And we have this as the truth. This is about courage. This is about insight, power, triumph. This is an irresistible force that's cutting through the matter. That's cutting through like the entire matter of it. The truth is the force that's coming through, and it's going to be bringing balance of these opposing parts to light. This is the emotions here. These people that are guilty and guilty by association, sadly, people who are being hired, children, youth who are being hired by this organization, this facility, whatever the fuck this is, brothel, some sort of place where they're high status business, trafficking, potentially children, youth, to pertain a certain look, offer a certain service, paid, probably recorded, and then blackmailed to continue to do that work where they feel like they're in possession, the second house. They have possession over them for finance and materialism, to gain wealth, to secure what it is that they're doing. And they're doing this based on their self-worth. Fuckers. But in the end, we have justice coming forward, and we have a Two of Swords here. And justice is all about balance and equilibrium. It's about harmony. It's about oversensitivity and also vindication. And this is the promise versus a threat. The threat was them blackmailing these people. If you leave here, we're gonna tell everybody what you did. Everyone's gonna know you're gay or some sort of you're a whore or some sort of preying upon their low self-esteem and their grief and their loneliness in their life, placing them in a space where they're by themselves. It's like lying about them, creating this like illusion about who they are, making some sort of video about it, and then threatening them. If you leave, we're going to tell people who you are and what you did. But the reality is, this is not who they are. They've been manipulated to become this. This is not who they are, even if they've done this. And these people are now guilty by association. These lost souls, these young children who are street kids. They're kids who have either ran away from circumstances that were hard or they were stolen. Something occurred to these kids, but when they were preyed upon with their stature at that time. And this could be happening on like a beachfront where there's like this boardwalk, and then there's tables, maybe a restaurant, and then like a side area where you could stand up and get your drink or just stand and wait instead of sitting at the tables is what I saw in my dream. And there's somebody standing there who has pictures, or he's taking pictures. I just remember them with pictures. And this could be somebody that has an association to you, if this is resonating with you. Some sort of association that you don't necessarily want to have with this person, but you have some sort of link with them in some way, shape, or form that cannot be severed. Therefore, you have to like... It's like people breaking up, but they have kids together. You try to work together for the benefit of the kids, or you don't. Right? There's situations where the one counterpart doesn't really work well with the other counterpart, and one gets jealous and makes it harder for the other one. And it's not always as flawless as it should be. You would think everybody has the same investment and energy into their children, but not everybody does, sadly. And I know this from personal experience. So, not everybody looks at life the way you look at life, right? This is some sort of connection that you would have a tie to. If this is resonating with you, if you maybe have a child that's lost that you are suspecting is fitting any of this story, if this is somehow resonating, there's something here deeper here that is keeping them contained in some sort of possession. Anyways, the justice is coming forward. This is a promise versus threat. And the Two of Swords is about stalemate. This is some sort of conflict that is creating this desire for these people to run. At the beginning, when I was pulling the cards, the deck just shot out two bunches of cards. And it just made me feel like people are scattering, like people just don't want to be seen or caught in this situation or circumstance. This business is likely not getting the same type of traffic, or they've lost some high profile traffic because of this dynamic, potentially with Vincenzo or another boy or girl just like him. This is a young child. I believe this kid's about 9 years old. This is a young child. He's not an older kid. But he was made to act like he was older. He was promised a lot. And he deserved a lot better. And if this is a fucking true story, I hope these people get caught one by one. I hope you get caught and strung up by your... I'm going to leave this here. This is the story that I received. This is the visitation I got in mediumship. And these are the cards that I pulled in regards to somebody that Vincenzo once worked with that he's concerned about. Somebody who's working there right now in the same location, whatever this place is. I live in Ottawa. Maybe Ottawa is significant. Maybe Canada is significant. I'm getting this story for a reason, and I'm asked to share this message for a reason. I'm going to leave it here. It's a very heavy heart. It's a hard message to read. I hope whoever did this to this little boy, I hope they get what's coming. The Vincenzo. Until next time, take care.